Inside Eagle Nation podcast continues, visiting now with one of our former Eagle baseballers trying to make it up to the show. It's at his second different organization. He was a Georgia Southern Eagle from 2017 through 2019. Seth Shuman joining us, the Washington Nationals farmhand. Shu, it is great to catch up with you today. Appreciate the time, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I'm glad to be here, Danny.
Drafted back in 2019, sixth round by the Athletics, got traded last year to the Nationals, currently playing with the Wilmington Blue Rocks. What's pro ball been like?
It's been fun. Ever since I left Georgia Southern, it's definitely been an eye-opening experience, just learning a bunch of new things and making a bunch of new friends and traveling all over the country, seeing new places. It's been real fun. I've enjoyed every second of it.
How did Statesboro get you ready for what you're going through right now?
I had a lot of great teammates down there. I had a lot of great coaches that taught me a lot. Definitely had a lot of learning experiences. And blue collar mentality that Coach Henn always talks about, I still carry it with me to this day. And I think that definitely helped me a lot getting ready for pro ball.
I know it's pretty much 24/7 with playing ball professionally, but how much do you get to check in on the boys down here?
I definitely check in on every game, whether it's on Twitter or Instagram, whatnot. I still talk to JP Tig a lot, and he kind of keeps me posted on how things are going. But, the guys are off to – they've had a really great year so far, and I'm looking forward to them, getting to that championship game, winning, and getting to a regional.
Yeah, that's something that you've got quite a bit of experience with. Not only did you start multiple championship games in 17 and 19, but you had the honor of starting a game your freshman year. And it was at J.I. Clements Stadium against South Alabama. I know that that's been 5 years, but take me back to that day and what you remember about having the opportunity to get your team to a regional.
That was an awesome experience. Just that whole weekend, those 3 days of ball. Pitching on Friday and then having to come back Sunday and start. Yeah. It was awesome. Going into the game, I had so much confidence in our guys, and I just felt like we were in a really good spot no matter what happens or how I even did or how I even pitched. But no, that was a fun day. So close, 1 inning away from pulling it out. But no, that was a great game, great year with a bunch of guys on that team.
You finished up that Louisiana game that had the season on line because of the rain the first 2 days. Everything became single elimination. So you closed out that first game, that 11-inning victory. At that point, did you have any idea that you'd be able to come back and much less even start a game?
Not really, I'll be honest with you. I threw, I think it was an inning and at third or 2/3, whatever it was. But I kind of maybe thought I'd be in relief, but let alone start that game, I was that kind of just showed me the amount of confidence Coach Henn and Coach Green had in me, and meant a lot to me. And it definitely gave me a boost going into the start on Sunday.
2018, you end up being the Saturday guy. I remember the shutout you threw at Little Rock and then the complete game in the tournament against Arlington. But 2019 is where you really got a chance to shine. Your 1 year as the number one guy, 10 quality starts out of 16 starts. You led the league in strikeouts. Being able to be the guy for that year, what did it take to be as good as you were that season?
I think it was just the accumulation of, the previous 2 years, all the work I'd put in, and, the respect the guys had for me in the locker room. And, we just had a great team that year, and I knew that everyone had my back and I had theirs. And I knew that every time I took the mound that we were going to compete, and, definitely showed. We had a great year. We definitely had our bumps in the road, but we made always championship game. And we fought our butts off to the very end. And even though we didn't win, I thought we had a great year that year for sure.
Yeah, I've talked with Coach Henn a lot about you, and he has one of the best quotes I've ever heard about another player. He said about you that good follows you wherever you go. What do you think of when you hear someone with that kind of clout say that about you?
It means a lot, coming from Coach Henn, and just I never really think of it that way, but just hearing that from him means a lot to me. I have a lot of respect for Coach Henn, and every time I see him, it always brings a smile to my face, just bringing back memories or just talking about how the guys this year are doing and whatnot. But that definitely means a lot coming from Coach Henry for sure.
We were really proud to see you get picked in the 6th round in 2019, being a chance to be in the same farm system as Chase Cohen, who's now in AA. But we'll get to the trade in a minute. But COVID hits in 2020, and not only does it call off a lot of what we had known, but you guys didn't have a season. How did you deal with that?
It was definitely tough at first, but it was just something we had to get used to. I spent pretty much the whole year in Valdosta. I was working with my brother a lot and throwing to a bunch of local high school or college guys that were down there, just trying to get as much work in as I could. And then I ended up actually coming back to Statesboro that fall and got to throw to some of the hitters at Georgia Southern, which is, helped out a lot tremendously. But it was just a grind, just had to get through it and try to make the best of it.
What helped you get through that?
Just knowing that I don't need to take any days off. There's plenty of guys that are in the same situation as me, and I got to make the most of it, whether I'm putting in extra work on my own or, whatever it might be, just because I know there's no coaches around or anything like that. So it's kind of like it was on me to just make sure I get my work done.
And then a year ago, we hear about the trade that sends Jan Gomes and Josh Harrison out to Oakland, and you're involved in the trade right at the deadline. You end up changing organizations. Right. You go to Wilmington. You're back there this year. How did they notify you that you are not only joining a new organization, but you're basically turning your life upside down?
It was definitely shocking for sure, as you could imagine. But we were about to start batting practice in Lansing, and our manager called me and the two other guys that got traded over and was, I didn't think anything of it. He was like, "So you guys have just been traded to the Washington Nationals." And I was like, didn't believe him, I guess, at first. But then he was like, "Yeah, y'all got to get off the field and, just get ready to pack up your things." And then some of the players in the field kind of came over, and I guess word kind of spread from there. And it just kind of hit me. I was like, wow, this is actually real. I'm literally going to have to leave tomorrow morning. But it was definitely a pretty cool experience for sure.
Arriving in a new place with people that you probably hadn't seen before, how did you get yourself acclimated to not just a new situation, but a new system?
Yeah, that's always scary, maybe nervous or whatnot, going into a new locker room with guys you've never met before. But I just, tried to be open-minded about the situation. And like I said earlier, the Nationals are a great organization. Couldn't ask for a better team to get traded to. And we had a great group of guys in that locker room that I got to know really well. And I've made a ton of new friends since getting traded, which is awesome. So I'm really happy that I came over to this organization.
You struck out Juan Soto yet?
No, not yet. We'll see when that time comes.
All right, we watched you for 3 years here. There was a time where you were doubling up with football, but then when you became full baseball, end up with 22 career victories, 10th in school history, and strikeouts. But what kind of pitcher are you now that you're playing professionally?
I've definitely learned a lot about myself, about each of my pitches, and know my strengths, know my weaknesses, and I try to, pitch off based on my strengths. And pretty much the same type of guy. I'm trying to get as many strikeouts as possible. I mean, what pitcher wouldn't, of course, but obviously I still got, good command. I think that's one of my better qualities as a pitcher is having to be able to command, most of all my pitches. And, obviously trying to get better on each of my off speed for sure. So, going to work every day, trying to get better each and every day. And, hopefully take that next step here this season or, whenever the time comes.
And I remember visiting with you while you were down here. It was fastball changeup, but the breaking ball was sometimes it was a slider, sometimes it was a curveball, depending on what it was doing. But now you're throwing both. So being able to learn two different versions of trying to do the same thing, what has that transition been like and how has that worked for you?
Yeah, it's definitely it's been frustrating at times trying to get the separation of the two pitches. I want my slider to be a lot harder, obviously, and then the curveball. Definitely taking some off of that. But just the learning how to control your curveball and throw it in there for a strike whenever you want to, and play that off your fastball. It's definitely been a learning experience, and I feel like I've gotten a lot better with both of the two pitches. So I'm looking just to build off of those in game situations instead of just throwing them in bullpens or flat grounds or what have you.
22 has been a really good start for you. 12 and 2/3 innings, just 8 hits allowed, 13 strikeouts. What kind of communication do you have with the hires up in the organization and your rovers and your field coordinators about where you could potentially be at some point this season?
I'll be honest, we haven't really talked too much, with pitching coordinators or anything in that position. Just guys that, they'll come in and we'll have different guys come in, maybe every other week and just kind of talk to us or whatnot. But leaving spring training, they said I was in a good position. Just keep doing what you're doing. By the end of the year, maybe you'll be in AA, or who knows, could be in the big leagues. Because we actually had a guy last year that was in high A when I got traded and ended the season starting the last day of the season in the big leagues. So that's always something I think about, that anybody could be here in high A one day, the next day in the show, like it's nothing. So that's just how baseball is.
What was your favorite moment here?
Danny, that's a tough one.
You have a lot of them. You have a lot of really good ones, but if there's one that sticks out.
Put me on the spot. I would probably say I got two. One would be obviously starting the championship game on Sunday, my freshman year, and seeing Ryan Cleveland hit that home run to take the lead, that bat flip, that one. I still get chill bumps thinking about it. But oh man, or the Sunday, my last year at Coastal, that was pretty special too, because I started Thursday or earlier that week, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna be able to throw Sunday because I'd thrown like 6-7 innings or whatever. But actually, the night before on Sunday, I texted Coach Green. I was like, I want the ball tomorrow, and he was like, it's yours, and that's all I needed to hear. So just like I said, knowing that the coaches had that much confidence in me, that was all obviously one of a great memory for me. But definitely Cleveland's bomb for sure, number one.
But it's been great getting to know you these last few years. It's been a lot of fun following you professionally. Continued success to you, and we'll catch up and do something like this down the line. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danny. Also want to say thank you for always checking in on me. Shoot me messages, whether it be once a week, once a month, or whatnot. It means a lot to me that you're keeping up with me for sure.
That's Eagle baseball pitcher Seth Shuman, now in the Washington National system. Colin Lacey, back to you.